Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're zooming in on the Apple Watch Series 8.
Yep, specifically the GPS 45mm one in midnight aluminum with that midnight sport band.
Exactly. We've dug into the Amazon product details and also a pretty thorough Forbes review.
Right, just trying to boil it all down for you.
Our mission really is to pull out the key stuff, what this watch actually does, the good, the bad.
And also what real users are saying, especially about those renewed ones you see on Amazon.
Yeah, trying to cut through the noise, give you the essentials without you having to read, pages and pages.
Let's do it. So starting with the look and feel.
Okay, yeah. Design and display first. If you know the Series 7, well, this looks pretty much the same. Sleek, curved edges.
That familiar Apple Watch design. This one's the 45mm size.
And the midnight aluminum case keeps it feeling light, under 39 grams.
Which is important for something you wear all day.
And Forbes mentioned something interesting about the color. Midnight isn't just black. It apparently has this subtle blue hint in certain light.
Oh, that's a nice touch. Adds a bit of depth maybe, not just flat black.
Yeah, sounds like it. Understated. And then the screen itself, Retina LTPO OLED.
Right, sharp resolution, 484 by 396 pixels.
And it gets bright, 1000 nits peak brightness. Forbes basically said this means you can actually see it clearly, even outside on a sunny day.
Which is crucial, right? No point having a screen you can't read.
And it's always on. That's a big convenience factor, just glancing down for the time or whatever.
Definitely. That always on feature is almost expected now on premium watches, isn't it?
Totally. Okay, so what's running the show? Performance and software.
Inside, you've got the S8 chip.
Now, Forbes noted it's pretty similar to the S7 chip from the previous year.
Yeah, not a massive leap in raw power, it seems.
But they said still feels smooth, responsive for, daily stuff, apps, checking notifications, tracking workouts. It gets the job done.
And that's often down to software optimization too, right? How well the chip works with watchOS 9.
Good point. And speaking of watchOS 9, it brought some key things. Low power mode is one.
Yes, the battery saver.
Forbes highlighted this. Can stretch the battery up to 36 hours.
Which is pretty significant. How does it work?
Well, it turns off some of the more power-hungry features, the always-on display, for instance, but keeps the core stuff running.
So it's a trade-off, but could be a lifesaver if you're away from a charger for a long time.
Exactly. Could really make a difference on a long travel day or something.
Makes sense. What else in watchOS 9?
For fitness folks, the workout app got enhanced. More detailed metrics, different training options.
Catering to more serious athletes, perhaps, or just people wanting more data?
Seems like both, really. And sleep tracking got better, too. It now shows you sleep stages, REM, core, deep sleep.
So more insight into your sleep quality, not just duration.
Right. Helps you understand your patterns better.
That health and wellness side is becoming so central to these devices.
Absolutely. Which brings us neatly to the other health and safety features. There's a new temperature sensor.
Okay, what does that do?
It monitors your wrist temperature while you sleep. Forbes mentioned its use for cycle tracking.
For women's health primarily.
Primarily, yeah, but they also suggested it might help spot other potential health issues down the line. It's kind of an early indicator sort of thing.
Interesting. So more proactive health monitoring potentially.
Yeah. And then there's crash detection.
Right. This was a big new feature. Uses sensors to detect a severe car crash.
Exactly. And if it detects one and you don't respond, it can automatically call emergency services.
Wow. That's a feature you hope you never, ever need.
Definitely. But knowing it's there could be incredibly reassuring.
A real safety net.
And it still has the ECG app and the blood oxygen app.
Standard Apple Watch health features now, pretty much. Let you take an electrocardiogram or check blood oxygen levels.
Crucial data points for heart and respiratory health. Plus, fall detection and emergency SOS are still included.
Which, as Forbes pointed out, are especially good for, say, older users, giving peace of mind.
Definitely. Okay, the perennial question, battery life.
The Achilles heel of many smartwatches. What's the verdict here?
Forbes says typical use gets you about 18 hours.
So basically, charge it every night.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the standard expectation for many people.
But it does have fast charging, doesn't it?
It does. That's a key point. Forbes mentioned you can get up to 80% charge in about 45 minutes.
Okay, that helps a lot. If you forget to charge overnight, a quick top up in the morning might get you through the day.
Exactly. Makes that daily charging less of a chore.
What about holding up over time? Durability.
It's the aluminum case with Ionix glass on the front. So, reasonably tough for everyday bumps.
Standard stuff, but aluminum.
Yeah.
It can scratch, right?
Yeah, Forbes did note that. Some users find the aluminum can pick up scratches, maybe more easily than stainless steel would, especially around where you change bands perhaps.
Something to keep in mind if you're rough on your watches or swap bands often.
But on the plus side, it's IP6X dust resistant and water resistant to 50 meters.
So swimming's fine. General daily wear and tear should be okay.
Right. And connectivity-wise, it's Apple. Seamless integration if you have an iPhone.
Calls, messages, notifications on your wrist, Apple Pay for payments.
Yep. And 32 gigs of storage for apps, music, whatever else.
Standard Apple ecosystem benefits, really. A big reason people stay with Apple.
Totally. Okay, now, this is where things get a bit more complex. The Amazon Renewed angle.
Ah, right, because you don't have to buy these new. There are refurbished options.
Exactly. The Amazon page we looked at listed renewed Series 8 watches. They come in different conditions. Excellent, good, acceptable.
And presumably at lower prices.
Yeah, the page showed a typical price for a new one around $205, but renewed options were cheaper.
Yeah.
It brings up that whole question. Is buying renewed worth the savings?
It's always tempting, isn't it? Get a recent model for less cash, but what's the catch?
Well, let's get into that. Amazon also mentions protection plans you can buy from Asurion.
Like insurance for accidental damage or breakdowns after the warranty.
Yeah, 2-year, 3-year plans. There was even a monthly one mentioned, though maybe not for single watch purchases right now.
Okay, so there are options to cover yourself a bit. And they have a return policy.
A 90-day refund or replacement policy specifically for these renewed items. So you get some time to check it out.
90 days. Okay. But what are people actually finding when they get these renewed watches?
Right. The Amazon page had an AI summary of reviews.
Yeah.
And it's mixed.
Uh-oh. Mixed how?
Functionally, mostly positive. People say it works well. GPS Plus Cellular is smooth if they got that version. Some did mention ECG glitches, though.
Okay. So maybe a minor software quirk sometimes.
Possibly. Value for money. Generally seen as good. A decent way to save.
That makes sense. That's a main draw.
Appearance is often described as looking like new or very close to it.
Yeah.
And setup is easy, especially with iPhones.
So far, so good. Where does it get shaky?
Quality and battery life seem to be the big variables. Some people get watches that are basically perfect, like new condition, even 94% or 100% battery health.
Wow. Okay. That sounds great.
But others report issues. Low quality watch bands included, sometimes actual defects in the watch itself. One person had the screen crack just after the 90-day return window. Ouch.
Oh, that's rough. So maybe underlying issues that aren't caught.
Could be. And battery life is all over the place in the reviews. Some good, some really poor, short life, dead on arrival. One person measured only 83% maximum capacity.
Yikes. That feels like a lottery. You might get a great battery, or you might get one that's already significantly degraded.
Exactly. Same with scratches. Some report none. Others find scratches on the screen or the body.
So the cosmetic rating, excellent, good, might be a bit subjective or inconsistent.
It seems that way. And then there's the charger. Lots of negative comments about the charger that comes with the renewed watches.
What's wrong with them?
People saying they're cheap, charge super slowly, or just don't work at all.
So Amazon guarantees compatible accessories, not necessarily original or good accessories.
That seems to be the key takeaway there. You might need to budget for a proper Apple charger separately.
Good to know. Any specific examples that stood out?
Yeah, there were reviews saying, looked and worked great, excellent condition, 97% battery, worth the purchase, flawless. One person even got the cellular version by mistake when they ordered GPS only. Lucky them.
Okay, so some definitely have positive experiences.
But then you have the other side. Watch face crumbled after 90 days. Charging cable is terrible. Battery wouldn't stay charged. Unit received with deep scratches.
It really highlights the gamble, doesn't it?
It does. Just to clarify Amazon's definition. Renewed means inspected, tested, refurbished by qualified suppliers, reset to factory settings, cosmetic condition varies, compatible, non-original accessories possible, plain packaging possible.
So you know what you're supposed to get, but reality might vary based on these reviews.
Seems so. Okay, let's try and wrap the pros and cons, pulling from Forbes and the user feedback.
Right, so for the Series 8 generally, pros are the solid health features, ECG, blood oxygen, temperature, sleep tracking.
Plus the safety stuff, crash detection, fall detection, emergency SOS. Fast charging is convenient.
And that seamless Apple ecosystem integration, and maybe the potential for cost savings via Renewed?
Definitely a potential pro.
Okay, cons for the Series 8 itself. Battery life still basically means daily charging.
Yep. Minimal design changes from the Series 7.
The aluminum finish, as we said, can scratch. And it's iOS only, obviously.
and then specific cons for the renewed versions based on feedback.
Inconsistent quality seems to be the big one. Varied cosmetic condition, varied battery health.
And those potentially dodgy chargers included.
Right. That's a definite pattern in the feedback.
Okay, so summing it all up for you listening, the Apple Watch Series 8 itself is a capable watch, strong on health and safety, deeply integrated with Apple stuff.
Choosing a renewed one can save you money, but you need to be aware of the potential downsides shown in user reviews.
Yeah, you're weighing cost savings against the uncertainty around the exact condition, battery health, and maybe needing a new charger.
It really comes down to your personal comfort level with that kind of trade-off, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Which leads us to our final thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
With these incremental upgrades, like Series 8 from Series 7, and this whole variable renewed market,
Yeah.
what actually makes an upgrade feel significant in wearables these days?
Good question. Is it one killer new feature? Or a certain level of overall polish?
And how much does your budget versus wanting that guaranteed new out-of-the-box experience factor in? What are the absolute non-negotiables, the must-haves for you in a smartwatch right now?
Lots to think about there as the tech keeps evolving.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.